This video is going to include a few things. Moving Princess Toadstool around so that she starts at a random location, falls down the screen, and if Mario catches her, I just have a green light flash, but you'll need to do something more interesting than that. So first thing I want you to notice is that I added some buttons on the bottom to control my Mario. To do that, I put in a row, and then within that row I added two buttons. So if I look at the left button, I just uploaded a picture of a left arrow as my background. So that's what gave me this one. And then for my right arrow, I uploaded a right arrow picture for my background. Next thing I want you to notice, first of all, I put this in a row on the bottom of the canvas. So here's the canvas. It's what I found is it's easiest to collapse the canvas because then I know that the row will go below it. And then when I click on the row to get some good styling, because I don't want this row to be humongous, I want it to be pretty small at the bottom. What I did for the height of the row then is I said I wanted it to fit the contents instead of fill the container, because fitting the contents means it's going to be small on the bottom. The other thing is if you don't do anything, these two buttons are going to be so close together it's going to be hard to work with. So in the advanced part of the row, I went to positioning, and in the flex box for this, I made sure that the flex direction was in a row. And then for my justify content, you have so many options here. You can put them both on the left side, but that's not very good for a game. You can put them on the right side. You can center them, which is also just as bad. Then these three are a little bit better. Space between kind of puts them both on either end. Space around kind of just adds some space, and then I like to space evenly so that they're evenly spaced in that width. So the flex box is going to be a really important thing. Make sure it says flex direction row, and then you can mess around with justifying the content. Okay, so that's how I got my stuff in there. So now what I'm going to do is I've got my Mario, my left and right Mario. What I'm going to do now is add a Princess Toadstool. So you need to click on stage 1, and I'm going to add a sprite type. And the sprite type I'm going to add is my princess, because when Mario collects the princess, good things will happen. So I'll call this my princess sprite. And in my princess sprite, I need to go back to simple. I've already put in some images, so the image I want is my princess image. So I'm going to add that to my picture list. If you didn't have any, of course, you can upload the file there. Okay, so there's my princess. I'm going to now add one of her to my canvas. So I'm going to drag my princess sprite out to add a princess sprite. And I'm going to give her a name. I'm going to call her Princess Toadstool, because that's her name. This is Princess Toadstool. Okay, so I've got all my characters. I've got my left and right Mario. I have my princess. So now what I'm going to do is go to the blocks, and instead of having Mario move automatically, I want Mario to only move when I click one of those arrow buttons. So in my blocks, I've already done that because we've done this before. When the canvas loads, I'm going to hide my right Mario and show my left. It doesn't matter. In this case, you can do whatever you want. And this is similar to what we did before. I'm going to move Mario right to Mario left's location. I'm going to hide then the left Mario and show the right Mario. The order that you do this is pretty important. Some of you are finding that out the hard way. First move the Mario right to the location, then hide the left, and then show the right. And then finally, I'll change Mario right's speed to be 75 in the positive direction. And then similarly here, moving the left Mario to Mario right's location, hide the right, show the left, and then set Mario left's X speed to be -75. So I'm still only having my guy moving right and left. You can add arrows up and down, you'll just change the Y speed. No different. It's just, I only want to go right and left. Okay, so now what we need to do is get our princess moving, and we need to be able to collect her or to intersect her to make things happen. So I'm going to create a new function that's going to put my princess in a random location and make her fall down the screen so Mario can go collect her. Okay, so I'll call this my random princess function. So I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to move my princess to a random spot at the top of the screen, and then I'm going to have her fall. So I'm going to go here to motion, and I'm going to move my princess. Now I want her to be at the top of the screen. So I want my Y location to be 0 because that's the top of the screen. But this X location, I want her to show up somewhere between the left side and the right side of the screen, and I want it to be random every time. So if I go into math, I'm going to say, go grab a random number, and I think the screens are like 300 units wide. You've probably explored that more than me. About 300. So I'm going to say, not Mario, right? But instead I'm going to move my Princess Toadstool somewhere between 1 and 300 along the X and keep her at the top so her Y will be 0. And now I'm going to change her speed. So on my motion, I'm going to set her speed right up here. I don't know why I couldn't find that. I'm going to set Princess Toadstool's Y speed because I want her to move down the screen. And you can play around with how fast you want her to go. But let's just go test this out. Oh wait, I need to actually call that function first. So let's go call this here. Call the random princess function when the thing loads. So what this will do is call this one time. So let's go see what that looks like. There are my arrows. They're kind of small. I should probably fix those arrow buttons. That's pretty small, but give this a second to load. Thunkable is struggling here. It's because I'm making a recording. It's having a hard time doing it all at once. Okay, let's try it again. That was way too long to load. There she goes. She's falling, and it's slow because my computer's bogged down right now. You can notice that even the arrows aren't, it took them a while. But you can see that my Mario is moving left and right. I'm not sure why he jumped to the top. Thunkable's just a little bit glitchy. It was working just a second ago. So my princess fell, and then she reached the bottom. When she reaches the bottom, I want her to go back up and fall again. And then when Mario catches her, I want stuff to happen too. So I'm going to add some more blocks. So this is the random princess. This puts her in a random spot and makes her move down the screen. Now what I'm going to say is when the princess reaches an edge, the bottom edge specifically, so when the princess collides with the bottom edge, I'm just going to call this function again. It'll move her back to the top and have her fall down the screen again. So I'll just call that random princess. So that'll put her right back at the top and make her fall so that Mario can catch her. So now the only thing we need to do is put a block in here if Mario catches her. So in this events in the canvas, when we say that if Mario collides with the princess, and it's a collision even though it's not going to look like a collision. So when Mario collides with the princess, then we'll just do something random like, let's just change the background color of the screen. It's the easiest thing to do. So I'm just going to have it flash green for a second, actually even just a half a second. I would recommend you do points because this is a very lame game if all it's doing is changing color. So on the screen, I'll just change this back to white again. So it'll just be a quick flash of color to say, hey, you caught the princess. We'll see if it works. My computer is really overworking right now. So I'm going to go try it and see if it'll work. You may not be able to see it in action, but it'll work if you run it on your own. So I'm going to preview this and let's see if it gets a little bit better. A little less glitchy, I hope. Okay, so she's going to reach the bottom slowly. She should be going way faster than this. And then when she reaches the bottom, she gets to a new location. And I'm just going to let her... Oh, let me move my Mario. Oops. I'm not sure why he keeps jumping up there. Okay, and you can see that it flashed green at the bottom. All right, that's it.